All right, this chapter is called The Stone Ages and Early Cultures, and the first section is called The First People. The big idea is that prehistoric people learned to adapt to their environment, to make simple tools, to use fire, and to use language. Main ideas are scientists study the remains of early humans to learn about prehistory. That's why they study the remains of early humans. Hominids and early humans first appeared in East Africa millions of years ago. Stone Age tools grew more complex as time passed, and I'll show you a visual of that, and you can see how the tools got a little bit more complex as time went on. And then hunter-gatherer societies developed language, art, and religion. All right, so main idea one, scientists study the remains of early humans to learn about prehistory. To study prehistory, the time before writing, historians rely on work of archaeologists and anthropologists. And prehistory is one of your vocab words, and that's the time before writing. And they have to rely on archaeologists and anthropologists to find more, because again, there isn't writing to tell us anything from that time period. Key hominid finds. Mary and Louis Leakey found bones of early ancestors of humans called hominids in East Africa. Lucy was found by Donald Johanson. Tests showed that she lived more than 3 million years ago and walked on 2 legs. And then Tim White found even older remains from as long as 4.4 million years ago. So we know that humans have been living on Earth for that long. Main idea 2 is that hominids and early humans first appeared in East Africa millions of years ago. Groups of hominids appeared about 3 million years ago. A group of hominids called Homo erectus, or upright man, appeared in Africa 1.5 million years ago. And many scientists think that modern humans appeared more than 200,000 years ago in Africa, and that would be us. We are modern humans. Let's talk about hominids and early humans. So there's Homo habilis, okay, and that means handyman. They became more like humans over time. They were founded in the 1960s by Louis Leakey, as I already stated, and they were closely related to humans. There's Homo erectus, and that's upright man. Scientists believe they walk completely upright like modern humans, like us. And scientists also believe they knew how to control fire. So they could control fire and use it to their advantage. And then you have Homo sapiens, which means wise man. And everyone alive today belongs to this group. That's the scientific name of the modern human. So that's us. That's what we're classified as, Homo sapiens. We stop and take a look at a chart, and these are the early hominids. There was 4 major groups of hominids in Africa between 5 million and 200,000 years ago. Each group was more advanced than the one before it and could use better tools. So we'll start with Australopithecus. That name means southern ape. Appeared in Africa about 4 to 5 million years ago and stood upright and walked on 2 legs. The brain was about 1/3 the size of us today, us modern humans. And here you can see the skull of Australopithecus. Then came Homo habilis. And that name means handyman. They appeared in Africa about 2.4 million years ago. They used early stone tools for chopping and scraping, like meat off of bones and things like that. And their brain was about half the size of modern humans. And here you can see that the skull gets a little bit larger, a little bit more complex. And then here's the first kind of Stone Age chopper, or an early Stone Age chopper that they would use to, cut meat or grind meat off of bones or scrape it off of bones as they ate. Then Homo habilis advances to Homo erectus, and that means upright man. And here you can see again the skeleton or the skull advancing. It appeared in Africa about 2 to 1.5 million years ago, and they used early stone tools like the hand axe. They learned to control fire, and they migrated out of Africa to Asia and Europe. In the next section of the chapter, later this week, we will talk about them migrating out of Africa. And then here's a hand axe, and you can see the advancement of their tools from a scraper to something that they've made into a hand axe. Again, stone, just, kept grinding it and chopping it down or hitting it against other rocks to make it appear this way. And then we get to Homo sapiens, and that name means wise man. They appeared in Africa about 200,000 years ago. They migrated around the world. They are the same species as modern human beings today, so us. This is what we're classified today as Homo sapiens. They learned to create fire and use a wide variety of tools. And here's the key too, they developed language. So you can see Homo erectus, they use stone tools, okay? Here they start to use tools that are a little bit more complex, where they've made a flint knife, put a handle on it in order to hold it so they wouldn't hurt their hands. Again, they learned to create fire. Instead of controlling it, they learned to create it, to start it, and again, use a variety of tools. And then, as I said, they developed language, which is really, really important. Next main idea is that Stone Age tools grew more complex as time passed. And I just showed you in the chart from before how it went from a stone chopper to a flint knife. The first humans and their ancestors lived during the Stone Age. The first part of the Stone Age is called the Paleolithic era, during which people used stone tools. A tool is a handheld object that has been modified to help a person accomplish a task. And they use these to hunt deer, horses, bison, and mammoths. When we talk about the first tools, the earliest tools are found in East Africa. We can look at tools that were found, or that scientists have dated back to 2.6 million years old. Each stone was hit with another to create a sharp edge, as I showed you with the hand axe. One unsharpened side could be used as a handle. And scientists think these first tools were used mostly to cut and grind food. Later tools. So improved tools were made out of flint, and I showed you that in the chart a few minutes ago, where it had a handle on it so they could protect their hand and use it a little bit better than the stone tools. People learned how to attach wooden handles to tools. Because they no longer had to stand next to the animals they were hunting, people were able to kill larger animals from a distance. This is where they could use spears and, again, not be so close to the animal and protect themselves a little bit from those larger animals and still be able to kill them. And then main idea 4, hunter-gatherer societies developed language, art, and religion. That's what they did for food. They were hunters and gatherers. They hunted food and they gathered plants for them to eat. And when they were hunter-gatherers, you had to be mobile. You had to move around a lot because you had to, obviously hunt animals. You can't stay in one place. You have to go and find them. These early humans formed societies. And again, societies is one of your vocabulary words. They were hunter and gatherers. Again, another vocab word. Most of the hunting was done by men, and they worked together to bring down large animals. Most gathering was done by the women. They gathered food like wild plants, seeds, fruits, and nuts. People learned to use fire to cook their food. And the most important development of early Stone Age culture was language. This is really important, that piece of language. That's the most important development of Stone Age culture. After this video, you're going to take a short, not a quiz, but do a short assignment on some multiple choice questions on this presentation. You also have a copy of this on your desk, and you make sure you use these notes